Y'all ready for this?
Are you rolling? He's ready to go. This is I'm Alex Two-Tone. This is my co-host, Crippy Cripperson, in place of Matty Matheson.
That's right.
This is now a Young Crippin' podcast. For all those who don't know what we're about over here.
Young Crippin'. You know what I'm saying? In progress.
He ran into Doug downstairs, my landlord. And
what did the landlord?
That's the landlord. Yeah.
Oh,
What did Doug say?
It's like, what are you guys doing here?
Again, Doug is a recurring character on this show because I talk about him. Have you seen Anaconda? Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, hell yeah.
He looks just like John Voight in Anaconda.
Who is that old boy that was catching the snakes?
Yeah, the guy is like, you got to catch the snake. He
was like, don't kill him.
Yeah.
That's the prize snake. That was when I had that on VHS.
Yeah,
Anaconda. Yeah.
That's Doug.
I used to watch that. My boy Q, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Doug is I think he's like on the edge. I don't even know how I got in this place. Like I don't know what. It must have been like, I don't know why he let me, because he doesn't let no one rent here. He's very suspicious of everybody. If I have anyone come here that's not white, he's like, he always has a comment.
Nah, you could tell he was tripping.
Yeah, he's tripping. Omar, knock it off. Can you see this man? Let's say this man grew up in your neighborhood, right?
He'd be from the set.
He'd be from the set.
We'd call him Milk or something. Just had milk.
The tall glass of milk.
Yeah.
It happens, right?
Yeah, we call him White Cuz or something. Yeah.
You didn't even blink, because there is a phenomenon in LA of white Crips. You see them
here and there,
and I remember we had one in Venice, and I remember seeing him, and I'm like, damn, that dude's dark. Like he's out there. He's out on the outer limits, right? Because he's got to do some extra shit. I think there's a comedian that had a bit about that, but too hot. But yeah, anyways, Jason from the set, Milk.
Jason, or probably like J-Lo.
You know
what I'm saying? J-Loke.
And what?
You know what I mean? Or Ghost or something like that. Ghost. Casper.
But you know like, what about like Ichabod? Young Ichabod Crippen.
Ichabod.
You know Ichabod Crane?
No.
So the Legend of Sleepy Hollow?
Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah. Headless Horseman.
Oh, that's the Headless Horseman.
The Headless Horseman.
Okay, Ichabod Crane is his real name. Yeah, I can see that. Sleepy
Ichabod
Hollow.
Crane. Come get in front of the camera when we talk about your unrealized Crip career.
Casper. You know what I'm saying? We probably call him Freddy Cougar.
Freddy
you know what
Krueger.
I'm saying? Cougar Low.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kruger G.
Imagine this man, but like a completely different
Blue Eyes.
Good blue eyes. Look at that.
I had a homie named Blue Eyes. He is half white. He deceased now, but they kind of got the same face.
Right.
You know what I mean? He just had a gang of tattoos and shit.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you
teeth.
that if this man approached me as a gang member, I would be terrified, because I would think like, that's not a run of the mill gangster. That's
so
like,
he got something to prove.
He got something to prove, and he's like 9 feet tall, skinny.
Yeah.
So he's got something on him.
Yeah.
And it'd be a really scary day in LA if this guy was roaming the streets as a fully fledged gang member.
I wouldn't want no problems.
You wouldn't want no.
You remind me of Remy before he shaved his head. Remember on Higher Learning?
Oh yeah.
Remy.
Yep. So I mean, do you think it's too late for him? Can we get him sorted out?
We could see what's happening. You know what I mean?
All right.
We'll check the resume, see what's going on. Where your granny stay at?
She's dead.
Or where did she? Where is her house at?
It's Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Harvard, actually.
Yeah, damn. Cause that's where we like in the era that I'm from and under me, everybody pretty much from where that granny stayed at, deceased or not. You know what I'm saying? Like my granny dead too. You know what I'm saying? But that's where the gang we end up being from.
Cambridge, Massachusetts.
All right, Cambridge Crippin', huh?
They don't have Crips out there yet, do they?
In Massachusetts, Boston, I believe it's Crips in Boston.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I remember you can go now, Jason. I've had enough fun at your expense. I remember when, because I'm how old are you?
33.
Oh, okay. So you probably realize you've seen the phenomenon of when gangbanging spread from LA. Started in they had the documentary Banging in Little Rock.
Yeah.
Started in LA, went to Little Rock, and then I remember New York started having gangmen like Bloods and Crips, right? And I remember just being like blown away by that. And then you go out there in New York and you see it, and they do it in a whole different way too. It's like a wildly different setup.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not as organized, right? It's like they're intermingling, the outfits are crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's crazy at this point. I mean, I think that, when I grew up, identifying a gang member was very easy. I think now it's kind of hard. You obviously look like a gang member. You got a blue rag on your head. You're not fucking around.
I'm halfway from the old school, man.
Yeah.
I can say that now.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's your thing. You got a very old school kind of.
But this, this blue rag though, this comes from before. I call this 2 BC because it's from 1967.
Okay.
So this 2 years before Crip. You know what I'm saying? So,
2
just
BC.
for the record, this, vintage.
Right. That's vintage.
Yeah, this is just a handkerchief right here.
Is it a vintage handkerchief?
Yeah.
It is, huh?
Yeah.
It's like the really old one with the oh shit. That's like a legit. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
we
tight.
ain't playing no games.
You're not fucking
here.
around.
Nah, serious.
And it all comes into the sound that you have is very vintage, right?
Yeah.
It's like you have a very old school, like your style is like, it makes me think of, I don't know. I want to say there's a little Spice One in there.
Spice One. I
could
love
be wrong.
Spice One, man.
A touch.
I love Spice One. 187 proof. I'm happy you noticed that, man, because I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of Spice One, the early Spice One shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spice One. Obviously like CMW, that shit. When that shit came out, I was just like, with that first Continental Wanted.
CMW. You know that song Late Night Hype?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So Late Night Hype, this is just me like thinking, right? You know how everybody rap now, like with the low tone, you know what I mean? Late Night Hype to me is a version of what's going on right now. Like the way MCA was coming off.
Yeah.
It was a Friday, and it was chilling like a criminal. So I peeped out it's like he flipping the words the same way niggas flipping it now.
That's true. Except it was on beat back then. Now it's like
Yeah. He was a little. Yeah, it's a little tad bit different, but it's
Right.
like the same ballpark though.
it's all cycles, man. Everything is cyclical. Everything comes back around.
Yeah.
Everything old must be remade new again.
Yeah.
Everything. It's crazy. Like everything gets repackaged. It's like there there originally was 5 things that were made and we just been spinning them around forever. You know what I'm saying? Like
for sure.
And if you wait long enough, your shit'll come back in style.
Yeah, it's gonna swing back around. Yeah.
I'm old enough to have seen that. Like I'm old enough to see things that I fucked with when I was a kid. It's all coming full circle. And like I remember when I was a kid, I would see kids emulate stuff from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what the fuck? What is that about? I don't understand. But now I get it. It's just like everyone's kind of, because you got to emulate some shit. You have to start somewhere to create your own style.
Right.
And what are you going to reference? You can't reference the future. You got to reference the past.
Exactly.
Right. I'm just not realizing that at this moment why that is what it is. But that's why things just cycle,
Confucius.
man. Things cycle. I mean, I it's my job to be aware of what's happening. It's not my job. I love being aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm always watching everything as much as I can. But it feeds into my job is like understanding patterns.
Isn't that exciting though? Like being naturally aware of shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, exciting. That's a good word.
Yeah.
But like just like your instinct already just understanding everything that's going on. Like you feel like that give you a edge on everything.
Yeah, man. I feel like,
Cause a lot of people are oblivious to shit. You know what I'm saying?
or people are just writing something that someone else is writing, right? Like we're all part of something that already existed, but to be plugged into it is something else.
Yeah.
Like to be in the flow of it and to be plugged into what's happening and understanding what's happening, that's different. And then the other people just pick it off. They're like, oh, that's the wave? Oh, okay. They don't understand why.
Right.
Like you're doing what you do because you obviously have a history in that old sound, that old LA, just like,
Yeah, for sure. The entire lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
the whole shit.
Yeah.
DoorDash. You forget the one thing at the store? Now you can get snacks, drinks, and other grocery essentials that you need delivered in under an hour with DoorDash. As always, DoorDash connects you with the restaurants you love right now and right to your door. Even if you tried to make the DoorDash read funny, but totally lost track of the whole thing because a young Crip was smoking blunts and you ingested weed smoke, not on purpose. It's what they call a free lapse. You got a contact hide. Ordering is easy. Open the DoorDash app and choose what you want to eat, and your food will be left safely outside your door with the contactless delivery drop-off setting. With over 300,000 partners in the U.S., Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia, you can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants. For a limited time, our listeners can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code PTA2021. That's 25% off up to $10 value and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code PTA2021. Don't forget, that's code PTA2021 for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply. Speaking of, so let's I think the PTA fans are not going to understand. Let's talk about your life, but let's explain it to someone outside of LA. So we have to explain the obvious shit. Yeah. Right? Because I think that a lot of the people that follow PTA deep in Massachusetts, Michigan, Canada
probably don't get it yet.
They don't really understand what the fuck's going on.
Right.
I don't think.
Right.
And and we think as people from LA, we think that this is the center of the universe, right?
Definitely we do. I definitely do.
Right?
Yeah.
It may be one of the centers of the universe.
Yeah.
But and I know that, we talked last time at the barbecue, and you told me that you went to West Side Alternative.
Yeah.
Which I know.
West Side.
Yeah, West Side.
They call all the teachers by their first name instead of last name.
Mm-hmm. Very hippie, progressive kind of school.
Super.
Right, but that's the kind of thing that will open up your mind to some shit, right? Yeah. Because if you think about neighborhoods, neighborhoods get landlocked. Right, like Venice is interesting because, like, even though there's a hood, and some people don't leave those parameters, you could go somewhere. Like, you could go to the beach, you could learn to skateboard, you could boogie board, you can do other things. But other neighborhoods, like deep in LA,
like my hood, miles and miles of gangs around it from every angle. North, south, east, west, southeast, southwest. Any direction you go is miles of gangs.
Right. And with those miles of gangs, you're talking, within those barriers, you're talking beef.
Yeah, beef for sure.
You're surrounded
by beef for sure.
Imagine that, people. Imagine growing up in a place where just to go from one block to the next could be life threatening.
Yeah,
depending on who you're with. And like, where I grew up a block outside of the hood, right? So I had access to it, but I wasn't sucked in.
That's player right there.
Right?
Yeah.
I would see it, I'd go dip in. Like, I literally remember as a kid going in and it being from, you cross a line and it was like 4th of July. Like, it was live.
Yeah.
Like, it was just shit was going off.
Yeah.
And you go back to the other, like, I'm talking like a block.
Yeah, that's how it be.
It's like that, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that today when you were coming. I was like, if I had grown up a few blocks the other way, I would have got indoctrinated.
For sure.
Because they would have been like, you're too big to be just let out. Like, you need to be with us.
Yeah.
You need to, or I would have been doing something like, it's either that or like what you play ball. But even if you play ball, some of the gang members were also ball
players. You don't make it to the league.
Yeah.
You banging hard as you was balling, for sure. All that. A lot of like. I'm not gonna say success. I don't know any successful gangbangers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like actual. I don't know anybody successful doing it. But like at the goal of gangbanging, a lot of the most successful gangbangers or the bigger names came from sports. You know what I'm saying? So now that I look back and just analyze it, it's like, all right. They was used to training hard for this basketball shit or football shit, right? And then that didn't work. So now it's like you join the gang, you already used to, your mind already programmed to, all right, I need to go do this, this, and this, and I'm on it. Like, so those are a lot of, if you think about it, like a lot of gangbangers, like big name niggas was fucking athletes at first.
Because they're disciplined.
Exactly.
Right. And I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Because it's a discipline, right? I mean,
And
you're
even I
basically...
came from sports, but early though. Early.
What'd you play?
Basketball, softball and shit. But
Yeah.
Little League before, because I was from the gang before high school and all that shit. So
How old were you when you got put on?
13.
13.
Yeah. But claiming it, like already writing it on walls before that, and
Right.
acting like I'm from it and shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Doing the, shit that the lost youth do.
And what's the, like, when you're, so people understand, what's the allure, right? Because people from the outside are like, well, just don't join a gang. Like, it's like.
It's not that simple.
Right.
It's well, first of all, like when you coming up in that type of area where you surrounded by gangs, right? Well, let me back up a little bit and just talk about stepping outside of the door.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
All right. When you step outside the door, all right, it's not much going on. It's the slums. You know what I mean? And when I was coming up, it was still like crack around. Crack was pretty heavy on the scene still.
Mm-hmm.
Like that shit don't even really exist no more. You know what I'm saying? So all the homies was selling dope. Everybody got low riders and shit. Mercedes Benzes, Cadillac trucks. You know what I mean? And then it's a unit. So it's like a brotherhood, a family, but it's really like a miniature army. You know what I'm saying? So like just being part of something so regal, and it seemed regal and prestige, like, man, a big homie getting respected, like the way we move. I remember the first time I went to like a hood day picnic or like a funeral and seeing how the homies like gang slide. Like, you know how motherfuckers say gang sliding, but gang sliding is actually like the same shit that car clubs do. Like when we in traffic and we riding 20, 30 cars deep, like, bro, we're leaving together and pulling up together. So we blocking off traffic. Man, the first time I seen that shit, bro, I was probably about 13.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't remember if it was the hood day or a funeral. You know what I'm saying? And I just seen how the homies was blocking off traffic. We just clowning, you know what I'm saying? In traffic, like going to other shit that I can't say. You know what I mean? All in this. Man, that shit was so amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? And just like the homies just being out on the block freely, the shit was like the movies, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cause I came into it when it was already in full swing. So it's already movies about it and shows about it and shit. So we already grow up seeing it on TV. You know what I mean? And a lot of my friends' dads was bangers and shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
pre-social media too, because social media had
it wasn't no social media.
Right.
It wasn't.
Right.
Niggas ain't even have cell phones like
Right.
that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not yet. Like motherfuckers had burnout Nextels
Right.
that lasted for 30 days.
Right.
And then you probably might get another one, or fucking them Nokia phones that was expensive as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For minutes. Like,
Yeah.
niggas ain't have phones like that yet. So
Right.
it was just all word of mouth. You know what I mean? And what you see on the block. But you know, the allure was just the money, the girls, the power, just the whole shit. And then it just the way it felt like a unit, like a family thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know?
And that's going to be, if you're growing up in that neighborhood, that's going to be the most, I'm trying to figure out, because I feel like there's a lot of pushback over this thing called critical race theory right now, which I don't know too much about, but I know that they're trying to, there's a big fight right now going on between people understanding why things are the way they are in America, right? And a big part of that is that you talk to certain people and they'll say, well, just don't do that. Just don't be a criminal. Just don't do those things.
Right.
But if you're a little kid and the most beautiful thing you see the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, right, is as a kid in a neighborhood like
gangster
that,
shit.
Is that shit. Like you're seeing a fucking parade of like the most like glorious, like, I mean, gangbanging looks amazing, right?
Yeah,
If it looks, I mean, and I know that there's a huge part of it that is like, there's a lot of fun involved, right?
For
like,
sure.
Like
that shit was like, I'm not going to act like it wasn't fun and an amazing time. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But when the fucked up shit happened, it's fucked up. But
when the shit hits
like
the wall,
overall, it's like, you know.
Yeah, so like, you know, as a kid, like you're seeing, you know, it's like seeing, you know, it's like growing up somewhere else and seeing like the homecoming queen and the football team out there practicing, and you see that and you're like, look at these giant men.
Yeah.
I need something to aspire to. It's just that this thing is set up where I mean, like you said, there's not a lot of old successful gang members, right?
It's not any like that's active.
That's active, yeah.
Like it's impossible to be active and successful because like when you super active, your time pretty much ticking.
Right.
Like, and people that last long on the streets is people that know how to turn it on and turn it off.
Right.
But it's hard as fuck to turn it off.
Right.
Like every time I got turned on, and I got turned on a lot. The only thing that turned it off was jail.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then
Right.
coming home and then, gradually getting back into it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's like nothing turns that off besides like death or jail. Like you might get lucky and, something happened that, you have a vision or some shit, epiphany
Right.
or something like that. You might get lucky and get that and fall back. Or like me. You may get lucky and get an opportunity. A lot of people get opportunities,
right.
but don't know how to recognize them. You know what I'm saying? So, you might recognize the opportunity like I did and take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? But that's like rare. Like we not built to notice opportunities outside of the criminal lifestyle.
Right.
Like any opportunity outside of the criminal lifestyle is difficult.
And
fuck that. I could go do this.
And it's foreign and uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
Like that doesn't feel like I've experienced the same in a different way. I've experienced in many things that I've done in my life that are not good for me, but comfortable.
Exactly.
And I'm like, well, I know how to do this.
There's no growth there.
Yeah, there's no growth there. And to grow, you have to be uncomfortable and there's got to be conflict.
Fact.
Like, believe it or not, being a gang member, there's no conflict because you already know what to do. You're programmed, right? It's not scary, but you take a gang member and you put them in a situation where they're around a bunch of people that they've never interacted with and they get real fucking scared. Because I know when gang members get scared, they get real tough.
Exactly.
Right?
Hard as fuck.
Yeah, they get very hard. And you're like, why are you getting so hard? Because you're fucking scared shitless of a conversation. Like gang members can be scared of because they're not exposed to that.
Yeah.
Put them in a boardroom, right? Like put them in a fucking meeting with like people who come out of an Ivy League school. Like,
fuck this shit, cuz
yeah, exactly. It's scary. Yeah. Like it's hard to negotiate that because it's like you might as well like put them in a room, tell them to speak fucking French, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's intimidating.
Yeah.
So when you come out of jail, was it like, okay, now I'm gonna get it together?
Man, I came out of jail so many times.
Right.
Tone. Like I'm talking about. Man, I haven't been in trouble in a minute, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like I spent about. When did I get out? 2014. So I spent about 14, 15 years in and out of jail.
Okay. That's a lot of time.
Yeah, like 2 years here, a year here, 9 months there. You know what I'm saying?
How long have you been out now?
I've been out since 2014. So
Oh, okay.
I've been out.
So before then it was
I've been
14
out 6 years.
Okay. And are you clear? Like you're all your?
I'm not on nothing. No,
You're on
this is
nothing.
my first time and longest time not
Right.
being on nothing. You know what I mean? But I, like you said, the uncomfortable shit. Like I got out. Well, my last time when I got out and started the transition, because initially, bro, I wasn't going. Like I thought I was a nigga that could play both sides of the fence. Like, all right, I wasn't even taking shit serious. But then when they indicted my homies, that's when I realized, like, man, this shit is like. It's no ending to this. It's like no win to this shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I just accepted the uncomfortability of just growing into the music and the business. Like my main shit, like what people don't understand about me, like my main shit has never been an artist. Like my main shit was the business, hustling. Like I'm selling something. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like going through them uncomfortable stages, now I enjoy the challenge of shit. Like something new for me to conquer. I know it's gonna be uncomfortable. I know I'm going in a dark tunnel, ain't no light. Like I enjoy that part of the shit now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like my life is like a fucking movie.
Right. And you see it as you're basically selling a product. It's just that this at one point it happens to be music and then it's gonna be something else. But you're hustling.
Exactly.
You're hustling your experience basically.
Exactly.
Right?
Like I look at it as bro, I lived every aspect of the criminal lifestyle. I was a criminal.
Right.
I used to wake up every day, and every day it's some laws being broken every day, some
Right.
criminal activity. Like, that's all so, like, by me having that, type of mindset, it's like, now I need to fucking exploit this shit to the fucking T. Why not?
Yeah.
I already fucking went to prison for it multiple times,
Yeah.
juvenile hall camps, been shot, all of anything you could think of. Like, I did all that part. It was no payoff.
Right.
So now that I did it and it's known, like,
Yeah, there's no gold watch at the end of that
I'm
career.
about to fucking
Yeah.
exploit this shit for
Yeah.
all my niggas that can't exploit it. All my niggas that got life for some dumb shit or for some crazy shit or lost their life or lost their fucking mind or, never attempted to get uncomfortable and they stuck in the hood. So I'm exploiting this shit for all of that. Like, you know what I mean?
And what do you think about, do you think that, because when you talk about West Side Alternative, right? Because I keep bringing that up because I know
gave me an edge.
it gives you an edge, right?
That gave me an edge for sure.
It's like little shit like that.
Yeah.
Little experiences you have as a kid can open you up later in life in a way where you're like able to make a decision.
Yeah.
And that probably helped. I mean, I'm sure there's other things too.
Yeah, that was definitely a factor of it. I say that all the time. And I remember I was crying when my mama told me I was leaving the school and with, with all
Yeah.
my friends and shit and getting school bussed out.
Right.
But like in actuality, that shit opened me up to like dealing with different races, different type of people, knowing how to communicate. You know what I mean?
A different way of thinking, different kind of teachers.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with teachers who are like, the teachers are not gonna have as much of a chip on their shoulder,
Right.
Because it's a different kind of
Yeah,
school.
that was cool. It was laid
Right.
back, like, and like when the gang shit hit after West Side, right?
Right.
So, like, man, all that shit that I learned and all them experiences was blocked out
Yes.
by I'm engulfed in this shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, like, as the years went by, like, all that shit started coming back to me. Like,
Yeah.
all right, instead of just I'm not just driving to the Broadway swap meet. I'm going to 3rd Street, Promenade,
Okay.
walking up and down. I'm going to the pier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm all around by the beach and shit, hollering at people around here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I'm not, a lot of my homies, like, never leave that little 10, 15 block radius at all for nothing unless they going to jail.
Right. Which is crazy.
So I wasn't scared to explore. Like, all right, shit, fuck it, we going here. We got to meet with these. You know what I mean? That's what helped me out.
And then do you think that at the time, how old were you at West Side Alternative?
Shit, probably like 10, 9, 10.
9, 10.
5th grade.
And
5th
then was
grade,
there,
6th grade.
do you feel like there was do you feel like there was a period of innocence as a kid where you were just kind of like still, like, because there's a period, right, where everyone's still a kid. Some kids get fucked up early, but like there's still a period where you're still kind of a kid, you're still goofy, you still think about silly shit. You're not like, you haven't hardened up yet.
For sure.
And do you remember the time? Like, was it like there's usually some sort of like moment, right? Something happens. You see something happen, you get beat up badly, whatever the case may be. Like, was there something that happened that made you kind of like switch?
Shit, I got around the homies, like, got around them killers.
Right.
Got around them killers and it's like, I think it was just me seeing how how serious my homies is
Yeah.
and how serious my hood was at the
Right.
time.
Right.
Like, man, they not letting shit slide. They beating the fuck out of the homies if they out of line. And when I seen one of my homies get his ass whooped, like, and I'm like, damn, what he do? Like,
Right.
and it's some little dumb shit though. Like, he didn't even do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
He just having it his way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in my mind, like, I instantly turned into a killer in my head.
Right.
I said, these niggas is killers.
Yeah.
Like, for sure, known, documented killers. Like, everybody around me. Like, all right, if somebody do that to me, I'm killing them.
Right.
Period. So, like, that's when that's when shit got raw. Like, me just seeing that, like, I don't want to be the victim of that type of shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, so.
You got very serious.
Yeah, I think what turned me raw is just not wanting to be a victim of shit. Like, and you know what I was just thinking about the other day? Like, for years, bro, my call log And like network was only killers, dope dealers, pimps,
right,
and gangbangers,
right,
and hoes,
right,
hood rat bitches. Like,
yeah,
that's it.
right.
Like that's all I had in my network, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's a trip now how shit is. Like nigga talking to.
right. Yeah, but that's because you have the ability to navigate, and you also are like, you know, like you. The reason why we're talking is that you pull up to born and raised stuff, and I'm like, this feels cool. Yeah, it's very simple. Like, you have a conversation, and you know, and then doors open up. And I'm this like in a different degree. I'm the same way. Like I used to be very closed off, and I only fuck with certain kind of people. Yeah. And then you stop having that chip on your shoulder, and you're like, there's a whole
fucking world.
There's a world, and like there's a world where people are doing shit that you're never even going to come close to. Exactly. There's a whole world of things happening that's outside of our little insulated bullshit, like little fucking box, you know? And, yeah, it's funny too. Cause I remember like, you know, when I was a little kid, I would read a lot. I was like very like, you know, interested in just like, I had a very kind of cerebral existence. And then it got to a point where I was like, I have to put all that away because that's not celebrated. Right. Nobody wants to be a nerd. It's at that time when I grew up. Now it's like cool. But back then it was like, you got to hide that. And I remember just like putting that shit away and like not acknowledging it. Yeah. And not acknowledging that part of myself. Right. And then I got to a point where I just stopped giving a shit about anything. I was like, I don't give a fuck, whatever the fuck. You just stop caring what people think. Right. You're just like, who cares? Yeah. I care what you think about me. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, you know? But yeah, I mean, it's I remember too, a West Side Alternative, there was this dude, I remember this is one of my buddies went there and there was this dude that kept putting his dick in the teacher's hair. He kept going up behind her in class and putting his dick in her hair. And I remember that from a little kid and just being like, cause that was the level of, I was very mischievous in school and I would do anything to provoke laughter. Yeah. And I remember that has stuck with me because of it. Cause I'm like, what a great gag that was. Like, what a great trick. Yeah. And I remember he would just, you know, on a daily basis, he'd come up behind a teacher, get her talking, just put his dick in her haircut. And all the kids would go crazy. Cause you know, you have those
That's
teachers.
Raw comedy right there. Yeah.
I mean, those are like, as a kid, those are like the funniest, you know, like.
Bro, I'm at West Side one time. I get caught taking a piss. Well, I'm taking a piss in the back behind the trash cans. Yeah. Cause something was up with the bathroom it was locked or some shit. So I'm taking a piss by the trash can. Some kids run and tell on me, right? Mm-hmm. And then my teacher named Fred, I seen him not too long ago on the beach. He like fucking like totally like looked like he just mushroom acid out, like dude it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I remember like, I'm like, man, I didn't piss back there. Woo woo. And he I guess he touched some of it and his fingertip was wet. He said, if I taste this and it tastes like sauce, you telling me? I'm like, nah, I didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a crazy school.
Let me taste this. Yeah. If it tastes like boy piss.
Yeah, it was a crazy school. And now that I think back, like, how you know what like kid piss tastes like, bro?
Yeah.
You know
he's like, I know.
Yeah, you telling me, but yeah, that was a crazy school. You know, what's the John Lithgow?
Yeah.
So his sister was a teacher there when I was going there. You know what I'm saying? So we used to do like little like creative shit. Like
did he ever pull
acting
up?
Shit. Nah, he never pulled up.
Oh, you used to do acting stuff with her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Little plays and shit. I used to do all the little shit.
Do you think that that's something that you're going to get into is acting?
Yeah, I just did a movie. I'm in Vanessa Del Rio biopic.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
What was your part?
I'm a security guard. So I'm a security guard. So, you know, around the time when she got hot in the mid 70s and late 70s was when rap was coming out and shit. Yeah. So I'm a security guard that's like sneaking in the office, recording raps and shit.
Okay.
Breaking up fights and fucking niggas up, like the whole nine, you know what I'm saying?
In what office? She's a porn star.
So it started in a club.
Right.
Her career started in a club. So in the 70s, like the mob ran most of the porn shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we in a mob ran club, like a little, it's like a freak house basically. Like you pay and you see the peep shows and all that. You know what I mean? And that's where she got her start at to my knowledge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she was one of the first black porn.
She was the first ethnic porn star ever.
Right.
She changed the porno game.
And I remember as a kid looking at porn and shit, and like there wasn't options. Like everyone was white. Everyone was blonde with fake tits.
Right.
And there was no like, it wasn't what it is now. Like where your neighbors are fucking on the internet.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
could find anybody.
Like
Yeah.
everyone's got a tape out there to find.
Yeah.
But I remember kind of like I remember knowing that something was off. I'm like, this is not reality. Like this is the only people that get naked are blonde white women with fake tits, you know. But I guess they're playing to the masses. Anyways, whatever. So all right, so you're out of West Side Alternative.
West Side.
West Side. You're out of West Side Alternative. You're back in the neighborhood. You get put on 13.
Yeah.
And then it's on.
So I get put on, and that summer, like the summer I got put on was like super active. So it's like
What year?
2000.
2000. Okay.
Yeah. So 2000, 99, 2000, like the 99, 2000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you know when they were saying the Y2K and shit and all that. So around then, you know what I mean? And like it was just hella active when I got put on. Like a lot of my homies had just got out from like the niggas that killed niggas in 1988 and 92. They was just now getting out of YA and they still young because they went to jail when they was 14, 13. Right. So all of that energy was around the killers, fresh out of YA. So
swole,
like,
just
big
monstrous,
big old, just motherfuckers wreaking havoc. Now that I look
all
back,
chest, no legs,
Everybody got skinny legs. Like,
everybody got skinny legs.
If a motherfucker work out on his legs, he look weird to us. Like,
right.
Like you got legs, bro. You look strange, bro. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, but
no squats.
Yeah, so
no
it was
squats.
It was all that energy going on right now. Like all the killers, like you had to prove yourself, like or get like it was like they had like a non-active list. You know what I'm saying? And then like in every gang, it's like an in crowd and an out crowd.
Right.
And the out crowd is not where you want to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I knew that from the jump because them was the niggas getting socked out.
You don't want to be the nerd in the gang.
Sent to the store.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hiding from niggas and shit. Like, bro, I'm not doing none of that. So, you know, naturally.
Plus, you don't get access to girls and the money, any of the good shit.
The money, you can't have spots. Like, come on. I was 15 with my own spots after that.
Right. It's interesting because, you know, people like you think that people don't know or understand it at all. And
I wanted to say something earlier, like when you speaking on America as a whole, you know, like the country is full of judgmental, I don't give a fuck ass people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you said, like, man, they shouldn't join gangs, they shouldn't do this, but like it's rare that you find somebody that looks at a situation as from every angle. Like people only look at shit from their angle. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's naturally like a gang of selfish motherfuckers, self-centered motherfuckers.
Yes.
In America. You know what I mean? So people only look at it from one angle. It's like, all right, why are niggas from gangs? Why are there even gangs?
Right.
Or don't join a gang. You're not realizing like out of the people that make it out, it's like thousands of motherfuckers that's confused. Like it's no help for literally hundreds of thousands of people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a mindset. This shit is like bigger than just, you know, that's a whole nother conversation though.
Well, once you get caught up, if you're a gang member, you're going to jail.
You're going to jail.
It's
sure.
Happening. It's part of the
and you're gonna, I call it school.
Right.
For the active criminals, you know what I mean? That's school. You know what I mean? And I went to school. I started in elementary, juvenile hall, LP, GHTU, you know what I'm saying? That's elementary, you know what I mean? Then junior high, camp, you know what I'm saying? High school, YA, college is the pen.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't did all my schooling.
Right. And then once you go down that road, right, you have to, you know, there's just you're not getting the fucking job.
No.
Right? You don't have a trade. Like you could have a trade. Let's say you come out of it and you know how to do something. You know how to work with your hands on something, which is always a good trade, right?
Yeah.
I think. But most people don't. Most people, there's a few get out and have a solid trade, but you don't have a trade. So then the jobs available to you are fucking pissant and brutal, right? Like the reason why I start my own company is because I don't want to interview with people.
Right.
I don't want to make a resume. I just don't. I can't handle it.
I've never made a resume in my life.
No, I'm not doing it.
Or sign one. I never did a job application, anything,
Right.
nothing.
I mean, I've had jobs, trust me, and it's hard. Having a job is, man, I've had some jobs and it's tough. You know, being in that job force, like I worked at Eddie Bauer, I worked in construction, I worked as a plumber's assistant, I worked at a deli. Like I've had all those jobs and it's hard, man. It's hard fucking work. It's brutal.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the reason why I never got a job was just early on. Like I said, the crack shit was still booming. So I'm fucking 13. Like as soon as I'm navigating through the hood, seeing who's who. I'm around the homies that got the power and the money. You know what I'm saying? I want to hustle. Niggas put me in a spot. I learned how to sell dope, like, and make thousands of dollars, like, before I was fully through puberty. You know what I'm saying? So, like, my whole shit was, like, the entrepreneur shit was, like, naturally in me by the criminal element. You know what I'm saying? Just learning how to switch it over. But I always told myself, though, like, bro, I'm not getting a job. I'm not going, even when I was young, I had my mind made up, like, cause it was already old Crips by the time I joined. You know what I'm saying? Like grown niggas. So.
And what's an old Crip? So they have a perspective.
I'm an old Crip.
Exactly.
Basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then it was niggas older than my age that I am now.
Right.
That existed when I came around.
Right.
And it's like, bro, I'm not gonna do all this criminal shit because I had sense, but I didn't have no sense. Like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? I had sense, I just wasn't in my mind. But I always knew, like, bro, I'm not about to do all this gangster shit and then at the end of the day have a regular ass job when it's like, when I get older, like a lot of gang members, bro, do all this shit. You risk your life, you live this fucking movie type life.
Yeah.
This crazy criminal life. And then you hit your mid 30s, 40s and shit, and you got a fucking crap ass job. Like you starting over at the beginning of the workforce when in real life you supposed to be on your way out. And I said, I knew that early, like that'll never be me.
Sponta used to say that shit. He'd be like, why is this killer working at Chipotle?
Exactly. Like,
right? Because it's like you're like a decorated war veteran in your neighborhood and then you have a job. But that's what happens when you come out.
And it's like your whole, I think your whole imagery and like status and all that shit, like when you talking on street levels, because like for a lot of people, that's all they got is their name and their reputation, right?
Right.
But then when you go down and doing shit like that and, you know, you basically put yourself in the position of a kid again. It's like, how fucking honorable and respectable is that or commendable is that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's a tough switch from being like, you're calling shots to having some, 26-year-old manager tell you to like pick up the beans and shit.
Right.
Like
and then it's like your value to the area now was like, now you still a aggressive old nigga because you coming through. That's the big homie, but he ain't did shit with his life. Like, we not listening to you, nigga. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
So let's before we get out of this whole portion of it, crack cocaine. Do you think that there is a difference in recipes that makes for a better product?
Yeah, for sure. For certain, bro. Like, when I was in Camp Mendenhall in 2002, 3, something like that. Well, I was there twice, so I don't know which time it was. I was in there. This between 01 and 03. Bro, this fucking guard befriended me, bro, and asked me like the crack recipe, how to cook dope. Like, I know how to cook dope. Like, I was whipping dope already. You know what I'm saying? And I told him. And that shit, when it was time to go, when you get let off from camp, you got to go to court and see the judge. And they like, he's teaching kids how to cook crack in here. Woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to let me out. You know what I mean? They let me out on house arrest. But I I just learned like not to talk about. That's why I downplay a lot of shit, like as far as my image as G Perico,
Right.
Because shit was so real with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely you got the some motherfuckers throw extract, vanilla extract or coconut, got the coconut dope.
Right.
Some niggas cook dry whip, like you take a teaspoon and a teaspoon of boiling water and throw it in there, and
Right.
or some niggas throw the whole water in there, and this is like
so many different chefs.
yeah. And I haven't fucked with crack, ain't even a thing anymore. Like I haven't touched crack in fucking over 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So
I remember somebody was making blueberry crack. They were making blue crack.
yeah,
in
all
Venice
that.
at one point.
The fucking the color, yeah, niggas was doing all that.
I mean, nobody the little intricacies and details of this thing it could go on forever. I mean, that's like you talk about movies, man. No, I mean, no one ever gets like you think about movies that show gang life, and some of them, I feel like some of them get really close and do a really good job, but it's still on the surface.
It's so basic, surface
It's
level.
still basic because it's really bizarre and really crazy, and I think it's way chiller and way crazier than they ever like. There's things they overplay the wrong shit.
Exactly.
The stuff is even more insane and violent than they ever play, and even more weird.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of weird shit that
It's
happens.
a lot of strange,
a lot of
shit
weird
that happens.
shit,
Yeah.
right? Like a lot of weird situations and combinations of people, and it's like you could make it like, I just always imagine like a David Lynch gang movie where you really like get into the really bizarre world of gangs and the subcultures and the things and the different methods and all the different stuff and the drug. I mean, it's a whole universe. But anyways,
and a lot of gang shit, bro, is actually comedy. Like some of the coldest niggas or the coldest people from gangs, bro, are the biggest comedians. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like it's two different ways to look at it. It's the comical shit. Like even when people are getting shot and killed, bro, you got a nigga like me that's active, but I'm gonna crack some jokes and have niggas laughing in a serious time. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, that's, yeah, I mean, I think that that's what people fail to see is that like it looks in the movie version of all this stuff, or what people see on the outside or everything else, it's they're not understanding that people wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun.
Right.
Like this is like it's fucking adventure
fun.
right? It's like an adventure. It's like the fucking Goonies, like it's there's just repercussions.
Right.
Like it's gonna end up bad.
Heavy. It's heavy repercussions, man. But yeah, the allure of the whole shit is fun. It's girls, drive fast cars, power. You know what I mean?
And at the age, if you think about the age that people start gangbanging, right around the 13s and so on, you got to think about like there's a reason why they recruit soldiers at 18, because you're a young man, you're full of testosterone, you can't think straight,
give a fuck,
and you don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And imagine that, like
it's nothing to lose. Like you could at me at 13, 14. The right homie tell me something, I'm gonna do it if it's right in front of everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's
So, when did you start making music?
So I started making music. Like I always used to fuck around, like growing up, because my uncle had studios and shit, and like music was always around me.
Right.
So in the midst of all this, like I'd be fucking recording on a tape recorder, trying to rap and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Just acapella?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I'd be playing the radio and have a tape recorder and be rapping into the shit. You know what I'm saying? Doing all that. Little camcorder. I wish I could find that shit, man. I had little camcorders of us doing all type of crazy shit. But yeah, I always been around it, but I didn't have the confidence to tell nobody that I did it.
Yeah.
Like I remember I did a song and my homie Schnook, he take it and run around the whole hood. It was on a CD, playing it for everybody going crazy. And I was like, that wasn't like, I'm trying to keep up this gangster. Like, nigga, I'm gangster, selling dope, pimping, whatever niggas trying to do, I'm trying to keep up that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm on edge about that and hustling and shit. Like, I done had the confidence to probably whatever I say, really be me all the way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't have that confidence yet. So it took for me later on to be like, man, fuck this.
Because it's a jump, because people might not understand this. Like, it's a jump to go from a gang member to a performer.
Yeah.
They see it.
I never wanted to be labeled as a rapper.
Okay.
Like, it took me a while to accept it now. Like, oh yeah, the rapper nigga. Like,
oh, right.
Nigga,
right.
But it's like,
because most rappers are not really. They're like most rappers are performers only,
right?
But you're coming from a non-performance, like you're basically like a storyteller,
and exactly. And
right.
I hated. I didn't want to be in it categorized with rappers,
right?
Because I actually lived a life. I don't want to be categorized with a. We all exploiting the lifestyle, but with somebody that's exploiting some shit they never lived or felt. Like I felt the pain and did all the shit that you got to do. So
right.
I never wanted to be categorized as that, but. Like I would say when I start making music like heavy was like 2011, 12 before I went back to the pen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started making music, but I was still like doing the bullshit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still involved. And when I got out this last time, it was just I'm all in, bro. Like all my niggas was gone. Then the feds took all the rest of the homies. Like,
right. So jail pushed you into your career.
Yeah,
more.
I basically was forced into it. Like if
right.
I'm not gonna say forced, but like you know, it just happened by chance.
Right.
Because like I in my mind, I was gonna die like an important nigga from Broadway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That was my destiny. Like nigga, I'm finna die right here in the hood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was my destiny. Like,
right.
Or at least that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's something to a legacy, right? Like if I think about my life and life in general, my personal feeling is that it's all ridiculous, right? Like if you think about yourself and the scope of the world, like it doesn't matter really, right? Like me being here or not, it's not going to alter the world. But if they do something that people might react to in some way, that might make someone feel a certain way, right?
Yeah.
Then you made some sort of a mark. There might be a bleak look on someone's existence, but I feel like, you know, you're doing things that are creative. That shit exists without you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you create something that people can feel something about, good or bad, right? So then you exist in another way, in a way that like I think a lot of people don't get to exist, you know. And I think it's interesting because we like you're doing music, you're kind of interacting with people who are creative, so like you're in a kind of a small group of people that are doing creative things, but it's very small, but we don't know it's small, and the rest of the world's looking at us, and like I look at everything around me, and I think this is normal, like doing all this shit, but it's not.
Right.
Like most people are working and doing a job for someone else, or, you know, just people are basically painting fences and shit. You know, like working here and getting home and then turning on the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know. It's just something.
We do exist in a small, and it does seem like the world does seem like huge, like the creative world, but it's really not.
No,
it's probably because we draw from the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
Like we draw. Like I personally draw, like all my art and shit from, you know, the life and people. You know what I mean? I'm like a real cinematic artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're looking to the people within this small world, because you're not going to look to the dude that is a mechanic.
Right.
Because he's not, you know, there's nothing you're going to get from that, I don't think. Right. So you're looking to the other people in this world, and then that you become insulated, like in this thing when you think that that's it and you think it's normal, but it's not. Yeah. Right. So yeah, I mean, you know, so you started making music, started fucking around making tapes. Like what was the first, like, was there someone that when you were kind of trying to get on and do stuff musically, was there someone that you looked at and was like, I want to do what he does. I want to be like this person.
Hell yeah, shit yeah, like loads of people. Like, I mean, the closest motherfucker to me, like in the city, like I was looking at Nip and them, like damn, Nip doing this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we like close to the same age. You know what I mean? The same era. You know what I mean? And it's like damn, when I heard him, I felt like when I first heard Bullets Ain't Got No Names, I felt like, damn, this nigga stole all my raps.
Right.
Like this, everything I'm supposed to be saying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that shit motivated me a lot to do my shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, damn, this nigga got the whole mental right here. Like, and it's dope. You know what I mean? So, you know, when you, I mean, as far as people like, you know, super close, Nip.
And you worked with Nip, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Nip was my boy. You know what I'm saying? We started with the same person, just at different times. You know? The same producer. You know what I mean? And like me and Nip, and then a lot of his people, a lot of my people, real close. You know what I'm saying? So,
and he was, when he came out too. I remember when, you know, in the first few waves of gangster rap, whatever you want to call it, people wouldn't really claim their shit.
Yeah,
he was one of the first people, right?
Yeah,
he was the first.
He the first. He created that whole wave of like actually banging your hood and make, but not dissing.
Yeah,
and the whole LA accepting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at first, like he really like paved the way for that shit. Cause at first, like when I used to be like, play this shit, like my homies be like, man, turn that shit off. Cause you know, we don't really like, we not like as a whole and collective, like we not really cool with 60s like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As a collective, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like the homies, man, turn that shit off. Woo woo. But as it started to progress and people seen like, damn, we the same person really. You know what I mean? That's when the like niggas from my hood like accepted it and fucked with it. You know what I mean? But people like him inspired me to get busy.
And that shit with him too, there's few things that was a real tragedy. Like there's a lot of tragedies, right? Yeah. Obviously noted, but it's few that I actually like respond to. And when that happened, I was like, it was fucked. I mean, I don't know how to say it, but it was just like,
it was fucked up.
It was fucked up in a way that
fucked up,
it's like anyone dying is fucked up, but him, who he was as a person, what he represented for LA, it was not supposed to happen. I was just like, why, man? Like, you know, and I don't know. It was quite a like,
because he bridged so many gaps and barriers and like he inspired people that's supposed to hate him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like naturally, like bro, I fuck with all kind of niggas from 60s now. You know what I'm saying? Naturally, I'm not supposed to. I fuck with all kind of neighborhood niggas now. Naturally, I'm not supposed to. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of him like embracing me. You know what I'm saying? And his homies embracing me. You know what I'm saying? And a few of my homies also. You know what I'm saying? But like he like paved the way for a lot of shit that people don't realize that's important. You know what I mean? And I think that's why his death was like such a big cultural thing. Yeah. Because he was like highly important to the culture. You know what I'm saying? He did shit that nobody ever done. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was really, really brilliant dude.
And he was serious. Like he was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 So, the blue Corvette.
The blue vet, the 2022 vet. I'm in ride with me. You can ride with me. Yeah.
Does it exist?
Yes, it exists. It exists.
It's not here, is it?
And it's nah, I'm in my Benz right now.
Okay. Damn.
I'm in the truck.
Okay. I was like, if the vet's here,
I don't really drive it every day because like that motherfucker turn heads. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like a lot of the time I don't be ready for all that. Like right now, like I'm in my creative mind and I'm trying to execute a lot of shit right now. Yeah. So, you know, I'm kind of like low key right now in my execution mode, but I'm gonna be driving this weekend. I'm gonna get busy though. I'm gonna have a little fun this weekend.
The blue vet. Blue vet. Damn. I wouldn't even know like that kind of a car to me is like crazy. Like I wouldn't even want a sports car. Personally, that's not my style.
But peep this, the twist though. I always said, I'm like, man, them new Corvettes, somebody show, I'm like, them motherfuckers ugly. Yeah. Fuck them cars. Woo, woo, woo. And then, cause I got it as a birthday gift.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
How?
My partner, you know what I'm saying? Shout out my guy, you know what I mean? G, you know what I mean? My guy G. He was telling me about, I'm like, yeah, them bullshit. Ooh. And he sent me a picture of a white one with like tan guts. Like, and I'm like, man, that shit is ugly, bro. I don't like that. Then he sent me the blue one. I'm like, this motherfucker raw. He like, all right, it's gonna be ready. Pick it up Friday. Happy birthday, fucker.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Straight up.
Okay, that's cool. That's a cool gift.
Straight up.
That's cool. Right? I know. I want a gift like that.
So that was a gift, and that was a gift, and motherfuckers can't even get them. Like they on pre-order, back order. You know what I mean? And I actually I fell in love with that motherfucker. Like hitting corners,
Right.
burning out donuts. Like I'll be acting an ass in that motherfucker.
Damn.
Top down.
Crazy. American car too.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun car, but like gave me a different outlook on shit. On
Do you,
Corvettes.
My take now on cars is I used to drive Caddy. That's all I would drive, right?
Yeah. You
And
look
then-
like a caddy man.
I love a Caddy.
Yeah.
Just sitting in that thing, it's like a couch, right?
Yeah.
So I drive a Caddy, and I'll get Caddies, and then when the pandemic hit, I was like, I'm just gonna get a 4Runner. I'm gonna get the most like normal, low key, like functional car.
I got a low key too. I got a Camry.
Yeah,
I got a 2020 Camry
that's your low key.
that
See,
I drive around sometimes. Yeah.
I'm not at the level where I have like I just got one car. It's chill. It is what it is, and like I'm trying to convince myself to stay, because I start fantasizing about what if I trade this thing and get something else. What if I get this car? But I'm trying to convince myself to stay in this car as like an exercise. I'm like, I'm just gonna be in this car.
Discipline.
I'm just gonna stay here. It works. Like, and I'm also don't treat cars well. So I'm just gonna stay in this car. I'm gonna bang it up a little bit, and I'm gonna pay it off, and I'm just gonna ride it out. And I'm just gonna be that dude in that car and just let it go.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna let it go for now.
I don't have that type of strength. I
Right.
love cars.
You're
bro.
a performer too. I mean, you're supposed to have cars.
I love cars, dog. Like, especially now, like, I want to get all the way, because I've been through so many cars, like
Yeah.
old schools, new shit, Cadillac trucks, different Benzes, BMWs. It's not gonna be any more gas cars like in the next like 10 years or
Right.
15 years, something like that, right? Bro, all these classic cars are like doubling and tripling in value right now, quadrupling. Like
Oh, really?
G-bodies, fucking the old Chevys, like 59, a clean stock 59 Chevy Impala, let's say convertible, 200,000 right now.
Really?
Every bit of it. 199, 230, 175.
Oh, because there is no longer gonna be gas.
And then like Grand Nationals, remember those was like 20,000. The motherfuckers 40, 50,000 now. You know what I'm saying? El Camino's going up 20,000.
I used to love El Camino. I fuck
like
with
I
El
used to
Caminos.
get fucking El Caminos for $1,000, 1,500.
Yeah.
Cutlasses, I used to get cutlasses for. They used to give cutlasses away.
Right.
Like, man, shit, if you get it up out of here, you can have it. Them motherfuckers 15,000. Look, I had a Cutlass 87. I didn't have anywhere to park it. 87 moon rule floor shift and shit. And I bought it for $1,500. It didn't have a motor in it though. I sold it back to my boy that I bought it from because I didn't have nowhere to put it. My people was tripping about the yard. So this was about a year and a half ago. He about to sell it for 20,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm about to get 20 G's for it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That quick. So I'm just saying all that to say, like, I'm about to just start grabbing all the old schools.
I always
G-bodies.
wanted the Elko. I always wanted like the boxier, like it's like the late 70s, early 80s Elko with the real boxy one. Those things are mean, but I don't really fit in the cockpit so well. They're small up front.
Yeah, those
things.
are. Yeah, you kind of tall. Yeah,
They're small up front.
and
But,
they don't really lean back. Too
No, you
much.
can't
Yeah,
lean back.
yeah.
Like I got to lean back a little bit.
You got to get you like a fucking. You got to get like a Malibu.
Yeah.
You like that box style, a Malibu.
Yeah.
Or even a fucking like a SS Monte Carlo, like an Aero Coupe or something like that. You'll
Or
look
even-
good in the Aero Coupe. No, you'll look good in the Grand National though. That's the ultimate G body.
What about that Monte Carlo? That was like it's like from 15 years ago, where the back has like a whale. What year was it? You know what I'm talking about? It's like a 2000. It's early. It's like 2010, 2005.
The 05, the 01s, the
Somewhere
SS.
around there, but the back has like a whale. Like
Yeah.
the trunk is like wavy.
Yeah.
That shit was hard. That I really like that car.
You think those gonna turn into classics?
Hell
you
yeah.
feel like those was good cars?
I don't know if they were good cars. I really don't know if they were good. I just like the way it looked, and probably all that shit will be classic.
What you think is like the last American classic car? Like what? Like as far as the latest models, like
what's the last one that?
What's
would be?
the last classic? Let's just say, what's the last classic Chevy or Ford? Like Ford don't even really make tight shit. Like, or they got the Mustang. But what's the last classic car you think?
The last classic, most up to date, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? It's hard. I mean,
that's gonna age well and
I'll have to
still
go
be
with a
the
Cadillac.
shit.
I'm gonna have to go with like a 2004 Cadillac, like or 2010 Cadillac, Cadillac DTS,
DTS.
like just the big, like just that kind of, But they're bullshit cars. They fall apart. They're
That's
fucking
what I'm
pieces of
saying.
shit. Yeah.
So like, what's a good
it's
car?
not-
Like
I wouldn't know.
I'd probably say like like 96 Impala. Like
Yeah.
they ain't really did nothing that I feel like it's
96
gonna last
Impalas,
long and stand out.
Those are
and
dope
just
cars.
Be a good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, now you gotta have space to put all these cars, man. I got one parking spot.
Yeah, bro. I told my girl last night, like, the other night, like, it's about 30 cars that I want.
Right.
And these not new, not counting the new shit that's coming out. Cause I want that new Maybach that's about to drop, that 680, the S680. I saw it yesterday. I said, I need that.
You didn't pull up to the rave.
Bro, I was so fucking pissed off. I was supposed to go to San Diego for the weekend, and it was long story, but I'm mad I didn't go. I was dressed and ready, sitting on the couch.
Damn. Like that.
And it was halfway between being tired as fuck and tired as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Fucking
I tend to
asleep.
I'll lose out to Netflix anytime, man. If it's about going out, I'm just like, oh, I'm good. But if it's my event, I got to be there.
Yeah, I gotta pump myself up to get out to a lot of shit, like parties and shit.
I mean, a born and raised party is worth checking out, but
Born and raised party is the shit. The next born and raised party, I'm coming, still in the mic.
Yep. Come early, come
Going
early.
crazy.
Yep. Do a set, bounce.
Yeah.
Set the place on fire.
Set it on fire, drop the mic. Get up out of here.
Did you so you got let's talk about your clothing line. Let's talk about this is a blue t-shirt.
t-shirt.
Let's
This
talk
is a
about
blue
that
t-shirt.
conceptually. What are we talking about here? What's going on?
So I mean, this is a blue t-shirt is basically just how I see the world, right? And what I mean by that is like everything is based on perception. Like how we said earlier, people just be like, just don't join gangs.
Mm-hmm.
This is a blue t-shirt and it's red. You know what I'm saying? It's all a person's perception. You know what I mean? It's all based on individual perception, though. You know what I mean?
I got that when I saw it. It caught my eye because there's something there, right? You're obviously like, because you think about all the stuff out in the marketplace. We're drowning in information. We're drowning in media, and we're drowning in product. Right? If you look at Instagram, it's just like
shitloads of product.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone's just, I'm in that conversation myself. I'm fucking, come buy my shit, right?
For sure.
And everyone's doing it. Boom, 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 boom. And it's got to be, 85% of it's got to be garbage, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably being charitable. And then, so if you think about a clothing company, if there's any point of difference, if there's anything interesting, I'm going to notice it.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's how I ended up working with Sponto and Born and Raised, because he came up with the name and the idea, and I saw it and I was like, oh, okay. We come from the same place, et cetera. But I was like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
And then I see this and I'm like, oh, this is like, it's conceptual, which is cool. So like you could say this is a blue t-shirt is also like, it's also like this is a blue t-shirt, in my opinion, has the ability to be anything.
Right.
Right. It has roots in you and where you're from, but it has the ability. You could like, I think a good measure of something like that is if you could see a kid riding for it, and you could also see someone's dad wearing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, and that might not be like what everyone's like. I say that to say that it needs to be accessible.
Right.
You can't be too niche.
Yeah.
Right. Because then you're only selling to a certain audience.
Exactly.
Right. So what's your plan? Like, what are you guys doing with this company? What's going on?
I mean, like you said, like the brand got to be accessible. Like my last brand that I was doing was like so niche, like and just so boxed in. Like I was dying to do something like this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, my goal with this is the goal with any other thing is to be successful, and what I would consider success is just, you know, serving the audience and having my, you know, consumer. I don't even really want to call them consumers, you know what I'm saying? Just people that engage with me and understand and fuck with it and understand what it is to have accept the freedom of perception, you know what I'm saying? And like, you know, accepting a freedom of perception is like respecting other people's opinion, or, you know, or how I feel about how I look about that shit is how I look at it, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, if you give me some information, or, you know, teach me, you know, I could learn more, see more. So basically, you know, pushing it, just the progressive mind state, but, you know, on some business shit, like, you know, I want to sell a shitload of clothes.
Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the more outside the box that you get with what you're doing,
Yeah.
the more, like, because you got your fans.
And it's like nothing is, sorry to cut you off, but nothing is ever really what it seems like in the world that we come from, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, especially, like, not talking about the street. Now we into the actual business and the culture of being creative and just creating shit. Like, it's rare that something is really what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's lot
like
of,
it don't really, like, never really happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
either shit is overplayed or downplayed. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
right.
Like, never really, you know?
Well, it's also like we're in a unique opportunity for now, and who knows for how long it'll last, but you can, like, the power to, like, you know, when I was a kid, the idea of making a t-shirt or making a t-shirt company was so oppressive and crazy to me. Like, I couldn't even wrap I wanted to make a t-shirt company in high school.
Yeah.
In the first wave of streetwear, I was like, I'm going to make my own t-shirt company. It's going to be called it was called On and On, and had an infinity. I had this whole fucking thing.
On and on and on and on and
exactly. On and on. I had like an infinity logo, and I had my buddy drawing some shit, and I was like, that's as far as I ever got, because I couldn't figure out. It was such a massive undertaking to me.
Yeah.
Now, had I done that, I'd probably be a different type of, like, I'd probably be a tycoon by now, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't, because I was so caught up in my own bullshit that I couldn't wrap my head around taking it from step A to Z.
Yeah.
But now you have a portal via social media where, like, anyone can almost do anything, and that, like, anyone that has an idea can sell it.
Yeah.
And it's like finding imaginative ways, and there's a million ways now, right?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's fucking, like, from the stupidest shit in the world. Like, you know, you got TikTokers who are making, you know, multi-million dollars a year,
bankrolls, yeah,
fucking dancing and shit. Like, and then, you know, like, once you have a certain amount of followers, right? Like, once you have over a couple 100,000 followers, you have selling power.
Yeah.
It's just, how do you sell it?
For certain.
Right? Like, you really, like, you have a couple 100,000 followers on your Instagram.
Yeah.
So now you have some sort of a selling power, and it's like, how do you, now your thing is like, you have this audience, how do you sell to your audience, right?
Exactly.
I'm just talking because it excites me when people, like, because I've been doing Born and Raised for a long time, and it's like, there's exciting moments, but it's the beginning of a company, to me, is the most exciting.
Yeah.
Because you have all this freedom and latitude to do whatever the fuck you want, and also you can do a lot of crazy shit.
Right.
And you can, there's no bottom line. Like, you can do whatever you want. Like, when we started Born and Raised, Sponto and I, you know, I was like, because I'd been through it before, right? I had another company back in the day. I'd been around the shit since I was a little kid. So I, you know, and I was like directing music videos, and he came and he's like, I got this idea. And I was like, all right, let me shoot a film for you. And I shot a film, and I started talking about ideas. I'm like, and I started seeing it. I just started seeing it all mapped out. And him and I together started talking about shit. I'm like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a gift box. Yeah. Right. And I made these, and I'll show you. There's one in the other room. It's like, I made a wooden shoebox, and in the wooden shoebox, it was a Born and Raised shoebox, and you open the shoebox, and in the shoebox was, you got a pair of boots. We did a duck boot with this company called Gourmet at the time that was around. We had a custom boot in your size. You had a pack of smokes, which is a Native American kind of like thing of, like, you know, it's a way you interact with people to give people cigarettes. Yeah. You had a handball. You had weed. You had some pills if you're a pill person, stickers, like a whole little gift. Like I was trying to imagine like the best gift basket you could get.
Yeah.
And I want people to open the shit. And we just gave it away. I was like, let's just make this shit and just give it to people in the industry to be like, we're coming.
For sure.
Here's what we're about.
Yeah.
And it's those kind of intangible things that you can do in the beginning that now you don't, like, we're so busy. I'm not making a custom fucking, like we were hand packing these things and building them, like there was 3 t-shirts rolled up in each one. Like it was like this thing.
Yeah.
I do see people doing that. Like it's not like I invented that idea, but I think doing it when you're young and new,
that's
it's exciting,
yeah, exactly.
right? Because if I get one of those from some like whatever company, I'm probably going to give it all away at this point. I don't really give a shit. But if it's some new exciting company with new shit I haven't seen,
right?
And I think that you have the ability to take, like, I think you have a culture that's rich where you come from, and it's like looking and finding those things in there that people don't even like. There's a lot of shit that people don't know about. And it's like finding it and repackaging it and making it sophisticated. So when people get it, they're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, what is this item? You know what I mean? Like, where did this come from? You know, like, I'm trying to think of like, you know, whatever the fuck it might be, you know? But I get excited by that stuff because it's like, I don't know. There's in the beginning, there's endless opportunities to define yourself, you know?
Right.
And I think that like, before long, you turn around and then you're in a business, and oh shit, now you're in the fucking machine. Now you got a business,
Yeah.
and now you're fucked because now you're like beholden to this thing, and you know, in the beginning, there's a lot of leeway to like, I don't know. I think to have fun with it and to like leverage all your stuff, you know, tell your stories, and I feel like, you know, it's just man, did I get a contact high? Am I stoned? No, I'm not stoned.
I know. I'm
Are you stoned? I'm kidding.
You know I'm buzzing for sure.
So you got the t-shirt company, and what else are you guys doing besides shirts?
So we got shirts, accessories, sweaters. I'm working on a few other pieces right now. Outside of just the traditional streetwear, like furniture and shit like that, and art.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
So I got a couple chairs under construction right now that I want to get into. But overall, I want it to be like just like a fashion house, like, you know what I mean? Like just all type of different fly shit, you know what I mean? But really, I want to take that back because I don't even want to put a label on it yet. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a dope thing. You know what I'm saying?
And then do you also have merch outside of that, like G Perico
Yeah,
merch?
for sure. Hell
Okay.
yeah. Because like I don't look at this as merch. Like I hate when people be like, "You got the blue T-shirt merch." Like no. This is not merch. This is a fucking brand.
Right.
It's serious.
Right.
And it's gonna sell without G Perico.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now I got G Perico merch. You know what I'm saying? Like Enterprise Click shit, Perico's Enterprise. Different accessories for that. You know what I mean? That we really do like more so towards like for fucking shows and shit like that. You know what I mean?
It's interesting too, because if you look at what Nipsey did with the Crenshaw graphic, right? That shit has such an impact, and it's not like he didn't reinvent the wheel. He just took some shit that was native,
right,
and put it on a shirt. But you have people wearing that shit in like Beverly Hills,
exactly,
because they connected
it's
to
the
it.
culture. Like
right.
Crenshaw, one of the most important streets in Los Angeles,
right? And you wouldn't think that would move outside of that area, but it did. And people were like, I remember I was like, I want one of those. I'm not going to wear it because I'm not, I'm from over there. But like,
yeah, initially I think it was like that.
Yeah.
And then people start getting it, and now everybody wear it. Because like at first it was like, you got on Crenshaw, you from 60 or you from neighborhood. Like now it's a thing.
Became a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's a lot of ways to, I think it's like, it's figuring out. It's just like, it really is about going outside the box and fucking zigging where people zag and figuring out like, what's the...
Bro.
You know what I mean?
Bro, you said some shit I say every day.
Huh.
I tell niggas all the time, if you zigging, I'm a zag, bro.
Right.
Like, I don't want to do what people doing. Like, I want to break all the rules. Like, I was just on the phone with somebody from my distribution company. Like, bro, I'm not... Fuck these rules, man.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is boring as fuck.
There are no rules. There's no fucking rules.
Why am I trying to stick in the box? The box is what gets you stagnated.
It's true.
Like trying to stay in that fucking box. Fuck all that, bro. We just going crazy. Like, And, you know, the people that do that, I feel like last longer. People talk about them. They inspire more people, whether it's immediately or it's down the line. They do inspire a whole era of people. You know what I'm saying? By fuck them rules. Like everybody that's like fuck them rules, like if it's not at that specific point in time, somewhere down the line you're gonna influence a whole fucking group of people that fuck around and change the world. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I look at it too when I talk to people about starting a business, right? When they talk about like, you know, you have two businesses. You have a music business, you have a clothing business, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you have another business.
And a few other, yeah.
Yeah. So you have businesses.
Yeah.
And when I talk to people about, because there's a lot of fear in starting a business, right? When I talk to people about it and I go, listen, there is no losing. It doesn't matter.
It's a lesson you learn.
It's a lesson.
Yeah.
And like you hear all this
We
corny
love that
shit,
part.
right?
We love that part.
Yeah, you hear
All right, now I don't do it again. I speed past you on the next go around.
Exactly. And you hear this shit as a kid, like, oh, you know, you hear all this like bullshit and you're like, you can't, it never made sense to me until I started something and had a failure and been like, well, that didn't work. But you know what? I gave myself an education because I'm not going to go to school. Yeah. So I educated myself on the job. And also, once you start one thing, you have a pedigree. It doesn't matter, you know, yeah, it's great if you won, but you also started a thing that existed. Now you have a pedigree as a guy that had a business.
Yeah.
And you know that, and you know you can do it. And then you realize how fucking easy it is. Like it's a thin line, right?
Yeah,
it's a thin line. It's a thin line between do or don't.
Right.
And it's so thin. And it's like the thinnest, it's like a thin glass wall.
Right.
And I've been trapped behind it for many times. Like I get trapped behind it still. Yeah. And there's this thin wall and you can just, if you want to, you can step around it. But it just takes some action. Right. And I talk to people about that all the time when they talk about starting a business. I'm like, yo, just start it. Just go. You can't lose.
Yeah.
Even if you lose, you win.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna die.
Right.
You're gonna be dead one day and you're gonna play the tape back if you have that chance.
Like,
and you're gonna say, I should have done that. I should have tried that.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing, there is no, like, that's it. You don't take any of this with you. Yeah. Like, you either did some shit or you didn't. And
or
that's
you
it.
Fucking didn't.
Right?
And I don't want to be one of those guys that didn't.
Right. And you don't want to be like
that's like my biggest fear, I think, is being a person that didn't at this point in life.
Yeah.
Like, especially after making it through the point where I'm like, nigga, I'm finna be dead soon.
Right.
Like, that's what that life is. Like, shit, I'm finna die right here. Like, bro, I outlived my life expectancy. At this point, bro, we fucking going crazy. Like, dropping everything. Like, fuck the safety net. Like, let's go.
Yeah. It's all gravy. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm the type of motherfucker, like, on Set It Off, when they were standing outside the bank and Queen Latifah just walked in. Mm-hmm. And they like, yeah, it's like, you got to be like that. Like, fuck it, come on.
Side note, I did the graffiti for Set It Off.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Fire. That's fire.
How you like that?
That's fire.
They hired me to do the Acorn blocks.
Acorn Project.
Acorn
Fool,
Project.
I thought you knew.
As a kid.
That was over there in the Culver City Projects, huh?
Nah, that was in the Valley.
Oh, that was in the Valley?
The part that I painted.
The part,
it was in Pacoima. The part that I painted was in Pacoima.
Yeah, Pacoima, okay.
They might have shot
because I was wondering, I'm like, damn. That was the only place I could think of. I'm like, where else is it projects like that at?
Maybe they shot it both.
And then, no, but I think it was all Pacoima. Now that you say that. Because they do got project buildings out there like that. Because I was wondering, I'm like, they not in Watts. Where the fuck are they at? You
Acorn Projects, yeah.
Acorn Projects, fool. I saw that movie in the movie theater with my granny. We was the only two people in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
How old were you?
Shit, young as fuck. I don't remember exactly. I remember being there though.
Can you remember a movie? Because I'm like I love films, right? So can you remember a movie that hit you in the chest in a way where you were changed? Like, do you remember seeing I can remember a few of those moments where I really was like, like transported. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Huh? That hit me that I was changed. Wow. I never even thought about that. Probably like Bossing Up by Snoop.
I never seen that.
Like Bossing Up. Look, I seen Bossing Up by Snoop. Look, I was a teenager. And
is that like in his No Limit era?
Nah, this after No Limit.
I never saw Bossing Up.
This like 05.
Okay.
So Like I had already been like having hoes here and there, like running across hoes,
Right.
getting some money from them and they disappear. And then I'd like just had start pimping for a brief, for like a little moment in time, you know what I'm saying? And my homie was like, man, watch Bossing Up. And I don't even think it was the movie. I think it was just the energy and the time. And then after that, I was like, I had spots and shit. We selling dope, the whole nine. I left all that shit. I said, man, y'all niggas can have this shit. I'm pimping. You know what I mean? And I was pimping like for like that whole year before I went to the pen.
No shit.
Yeah.
How was your how big was your entourage, quote unquote, your stable?
Not big, like 1, 2 or 3
Right.
at a time. You know what I'm saying? At the most like 3, then 2, then 1. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really like no big time.
And it was out
like
on the
that.
street? It was on Fig?
Everywhere.
Or was it on the internet?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
I didn't discover the internet till later. So
Right.
like, you think about it, Sepulveda, Western, Fig, Long Beach Boulevard, what's that? Harbor in Orange County, Hope in fucking Pomona, Ontario. I've been on like a shitload of blades.
Damn. And then did you ever go out of town?
Hollywood, Sunset.
Hollywood. I remember when, it's crazy because there was a track on Lincoln when I was younger. It was crazy. Lincoln Boulevard.
Lincoln. I had bitches down on Lincoln too. Yeah,
Lincoln was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like that little strip, like from Washington on, like in that little area, Washington and Venice, like over there. Yeah, yeah. I've been down around. You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, Century Boulevard.
Okay.
Century Boulevard was like that was where I first got some money from a hoe at. $90.
90s.
Like my homie Lil Indian coached me through it. I got the $90. And then the bitch just blew up and she just disappeared. You know what I'm saying? I remember one night I'm driving the homies and they had, niggas out the window on. Matter of fact, I was on Fig last night. Like, you know what I'm saying? For just riding around talking shit. Like,
Yeah.
It's not really nothing that a bitch on Fig could do for me at this point. Like $500, $600 and some problems a day.
Right.
Like, that's
Right.
nothing. Like, bitch, maybe 1,000. Like, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? But, we riding up Century. I had on a blue B hat, some blue khakis, blue chucks, a big gold Rolex chain. And I was trying to pimp, you know what I mean? I'm driving, we get pulled over by the police. And we in, what's that fucking motel on Century before you get on the freeway on the 405? Motel 6, one of them hotels, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm bagging up, I bump into the cops, they behind us. Like, we bagging up on the bitch. I tapped the car a little bit. I'm like, oh, shit. Drive through the parking lot. They let us get out the parking lot and get on the side of the ramp on the freeway. Burp us. Boop. They're like, man, was y'all trying to holler at them hoe? I'm like, hell nah. They like, just say it. You know how the police, just say it so we could let you go. Like,
Yeah.
bitch, get out my face. Like, bitch, do it. You a pimp? Do it look like I'm a pimp? Bitch, I'm a Crip. Look what I got on. And look how they do me. They said, well, shit. They said something like to the along the lines of basically, if you don't tell us, we could be filling out another police report and we'll drop you off in the wrong hood. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? They took our picture, made us sign something to stay up out in Inglewood and shit around that time. Like, you know what I mean? That shit was crazy.
Did that shit ever happen to you where people were, because I would hear about that stuff where the cops would grab people up and drop them off in like the opposite neighborhoods?
I ain't never got dropped off, but I done got fucked up though.
Yeah.
By the cops.
Yeah.
I done got fucked up. I remember I'm in the 108th station. I just went to jail and they telling me, cause I went to jail with one of my older homies and they telling me to basically say tell on him basically. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, fuck y'all. Man, they whooped on me so cold. I was about 16, 15. Whooped on me. To the point where I'm like, I got on handcuffs and they beating. I'm looking at them like this now. Like, stop fucking me up. You know what I'm saying? And then he looked down at me and then stopped. Like, he had like, I had braids too like this, but they was like, my hair was a little thicker.
Yeah.
So somehow he got my braids like in his hand, and I'm like, I'm looking at him like this. And he looked down at me and just let me go. Like, but he fucked me up though. Socked me up real good. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Did you just drop a new album?
Yeah, I'm in dropping projects like every month, basically. Like,
Whole albums or just songs?
Like 7 songers, 9 songers.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Every month?
Yeah.
You just pump them
I
out?
think I'm gonna drop 2 this month. You know what I
No
mean?
shit.
Yeah.
And then what's the that shit just goes like what's your platform, like are you getting spin, like do you get return on spins for like Spotify shit like that, or it's just
yeah Spotify, like Spotify fuck with me, Apple, like all the DSPs, you know what I'm saying? I'm on everything,
right?
And like in 2021, like content is fucking king and it's money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my whole shit is just building up a catalog outside of like all the shit that I'm doing, like the acting shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm building myself up as an actor. I just got a new agent. Shows back open. Back building my touring up. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 streams of income. Blue T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
We want to build that up to, you know, I don't even want to say the number of motherfuckers gonna be talking shit, but you know how this clothing shit is. Blue T-shirt. My catalog, because G Perico sell all of this shit and market all this shit, but like my catalog is you know, something that I feel like could like probably be like $1 million a month type shit.
And you're
as
independent, so you own this stuff,
I'm
right?
independent, yeah.
Right.
So as long as I do the right shit and keep building it, you know what I'm saying, and keep telling this story, when something hit, like we'd be at consistent M's a month and I own it. You know what I mean? So that's like a consistent stream of residual income outside of all the other shit. So like content is like from video content to all that shit is money right now. You know what I mean? Like this is the streaming era. Like 20 million streams is $100,000. You feel me?
Okay.
Stream 20 million, you get roughly 20 million streams collectively a month. You could count on $100,000 check, 80,000 to 100,000. You know what I'm
So
saying?
that's why it's a quantity game. So
Yeah,
you put out more projects, you get more streams, people are gonna check for it.
It's quantity and quality. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because like in order for your catalog to sustain through the years, the shit gotta be dope. It gotta talk to people. Like people gotta like, it's songs that I listen to every day. Like the shit, my boy came like fucking soul to soul. Like it's, you know, just think if they had like 30 more songs like that one that everybody listened to, keep on moving, don't stop, no. If they had 30 of those, like their shit would be streaming. So that's how I look at it. Like, yeah, I need the one hit, but
and they don't
why
catch
I
up.
can't have 50 of them? You know what I mean?
And you don't get caught up in sample clearance or anything, right? Because you take a lot of.
So it's a lot of shit that's sampled that I don't really get nothing from, but I use that to market.
You market, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if it's gonna be in my catalog and, you know, sticking to my ribs, then it's something that I could use to market where it'll help, like motherfuckers love this song when I perform it. So it's helping my touring. Or we could, you know, use it in promo for clothing and shit. Or we shoot the video and it's a fucking commercial for Blue T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
you know, everything is, you know, for a reason. You know what I mean?
It all intermingles.
Yeah.
What about, I got an idea for your portfolio, okay? Just walk with me for a minute.
I love to hear it.
Here we go. We get an energy drink, right? That falls under your umbrella. And it's marketed now. Now it's going to be niche because the name of the drink is called Crips Sweat.
Yeah.
Okay. And the marketing is you're harnessing the energy of 10 Crips in one.
Bro, that's big.
It's like a Red Bull, right? But it's wrapped in a blue rag and it's called Crips Sweat. And you say, and you market it to the suburbs and you say you want to harness the energy of 10 Crips. Each bottle, each can of this contains the power and the energy and
Crips.
the testosterone of 10 Lux.
Bro, that's fucking insane.
Crips Sweat. And then we shoot the commercial with the laboratory, kind of like 50 Cent in the club. But it's Crips working out, doing different exercises. They bottle the sweat.
Bench.
Right. Wait. Yep. You get the old school shots of the old there was a storage container this dude found full of old Shoreline Crip photos, a photo album.
Yeah.
And there's and I still have a folder of it somewhere, and they made it through a few clothing companies and someone published it. And it's I'm talking fools from the 80s, early 80s, just all small.
The original Crips was huge.
Huge.
That was the goal.
Big afros. Yeah. You get some of those guys in your marketing campaign.
Yeah.
Then you got an energy drink in the portfolio.
Some of the original motherfuckers too.
Right.
You know what? Not to get off subject.
Yeah.
But did you know that Red Bull was just a marketing company? It's not a fucking energy drink company.
No, I didn't know that.
They just put their logo on that drink. It's not even if I'm not mistaken.
That wouldn't surprise me.
They just a fucking marketing company, bro. It's not an energy drink company at all.
I mean, there's so much money in these drink companies. I was at a barbecue and I was realizing that everyone drinks White Claw now, right?
Right.
Beer is done. I mean, not done, but beer amongst kids, it's everyone's drinking White Claw. Men, women, college, non-college. It just seltzer took over.
Yeah.
And if you that's the kind of money, that's the kind of income where you made one design, you have one product, you just sell that. I've never seen a White Claw ad. That shit just blew the fuck up.
Dough, yeah.
Yeah.
That's culture right there.
It's crazy. Well, if you do move forward with Crip Sweat, just be sure to
Crips will definitely holler.
Yeah, just let me know. I mean, I don't have any claims to the name, but concept is mine. Pass it on to you.
Just to make that clear.
I have I don't. You have the ability to push that product forward. I cannot. What else? What else we got?
Whatever you want. I mean, we're good.
Enterprise Click, Perico's Enterprise. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my guy Huey Briss on the come up. You know what I mean? Young Long Beach legend in the making. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Lil Said, Lil Y. Damn, I shouldn't have started naming names because I'm forgetting shit.
Now you're gonna leave someone out.
Shout out the whole Enterprise Click, man.
Shout out to the Enterprise Click. Shout out to Matty Matheson for not being here.
Shout out Matty, man. Where the fuck you at, man?
He was scared. He heard you were coming. And he's like, I can't. I'm scared.
Nah, he good. We talking about eating boogers and shit.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean,
the booger eating segment.
Yeah.
You met Matty at you were at ComplexCon, right?
Yeah, I met Matty,
many years ago.
I met Matty. Yeah, that's where I met him at ComplexCon.
Yeah.
Youngster introduced me to him.
Yep. Yeah, I found some pictures of that. It was back when that girl was around with who wore the bandana on her as a mask. You know what that was? I forget her name. She had a mask she always wore. She was a rapper. And it was just like a bandana, but it was molded to her face. You know what that was? She was around that same time. You're like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
It'd be so many motherfuckers.
There's a lot of people out there doing stuff.
Yeah.
What about
They said 400,000 songs come out every week.
Jesus Christ. Are you serious?
Yeah. Just on DSPs, across
just all genres
across DSPs.
400,000 songs. Fuck. And probably half of that is Chinese music.
Man.
K-pop also.
Yeah.
Is that worldwide or is that just in America? That's a lot of fucking music.
I think it's just in a.
It's a fight.
It may be worldwide.
It's a fight to get you. You know how I hear shit is I'll hear songs in a meme.
Yeah.
That's how I'll hear songs. That's
the way they market shit now. That's the way shit go viral. But just being able, your catalog, being able to sustain and pay your bills. If you got a nice overhead, that's
you just need
a super blessing.
You need one monster.
Joint.
One monster. Man, I wish I could make a hit song. I want one monster because just a little have a little.
I'm
check
trying to make.
in.
I wish I could make one too because
you're a lot closer than I am.
I've
need
been working
one
on
hit.
it, man. Yeah.
What do you think about
one hit, bro? One song, even if I get a song even on fucking number 50 on the Billboard, bro, I'm gonna make $50 million the way I hustle.
You're good.
Yeah.
One hit. Because it's that shit. You think about how much time I got to spend designing clothes all the time.
Yeah.
And selling that item, but you design one song and it's there for the rest of your fucking life making you money. I'm not going to make that money off of these t-shirts. The same design ain't going to last. Yeah. One fucking just give me. I just want one hit to put in my catalog of things that make money.
It'll have you living.
One hit song. Do you think? Do you feel like? Because sometimes people will start to bring in guest artists, and they'll just decide to just pay out somebody. Be like, I'm gonna give so and so 100 racks to be on this song. Do you think that's a good strategy?
I mean, if it feel good, hell
if
yeah.
It makes sense.
If it feel good, anything that feels good is not to be questioned. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But you know, if it's like, if it don't feel good, like, and I think labels do that shit a lot. Do shit that don't feel good. Do shit that looks good on the paper. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, that's the struggle between the business and the art. You know what I mean? And the music shit.
Yep.
It's like you never know.
As soon as you try to make a cat bark, you can hear it and it's not right.
Exactly.
I remember hearing did you ever fuck with Razzcast? You know who that is?
Razzcast? Hell yeah, I know Razzcast.
Yeah. I remember I used to fuck with Razzcast heavy. And he was amazing in his time, in his era. Like, there was a point when he was like,
nah, he a legend on the underground. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember he did this one album with Dre, and all respects to Razzcast, but it didn't feel right for me. Like, and he was like, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for this big album. And he's a lyrical underground artist. Yeah. And he did these really big songs, and they were really good songs, really well made, but there's something about it that just wasn't.
It just didn't connect. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's interesting because I noticed stuff like that too, and you realize that you gotta play the notes, man. You gotta play.
I think that's what happened with me too when I took my deal. Like, it's like the songs wasn't like we going for the fucking gusto, but it's like, what's the gusto? Like, y'all love me for the shit that I was already doing. Yeah. Let me do that and put the flame behind that. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that totally. That's why I'm dropping so much right now, because I just feel like I gotta make up to the people that believe in me and fuck with me. Yeah. And outside of building catalog is just you know, I think that cult following is so important. You know what I mean? And just that, like, people having something to connect to on a consistent basis. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, a moment in time, like, that's what I'm trying to capture right now. I'm trying to capture like these next 2-3 years to where it was like, that was like, when you think about the music, or when my songs get played back, you'll think about a whole era in your life, like some good shit though. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, if
you think about it too, you have to do what's natural, but you also every once in a while have to
step out the box.
You got to step out the box. You got to zag.
Sure.
Like when Nipsey did the "Call to the Bank," is that the song where he samples MGMT?
Man, that was my favorite song.
That song's crazy
at that time.
Yeah.
That was my favorite song at that time, man.
And very unexpected. It's
still one of my favorite songs.
It's a really good track. Yeah. And he just took that song and he just rapped over it. Yeah. That shit was already made like that. It's an easy loop. Yeah. And it's like sometimes, you know, shit like that kind of stuff will transcend everything.
But that's the essence of rap though, when you think about it. Mm-hmm. All rap hits, like, name some classics and name some hits. Like, it's not too many that's not samples.
Oh yeah, even now when people make, there's still big. I'll still catch it. Like I heard a King Crimson. I don't listen to King Crimson. I was like, I'm gonna check. I saw they were playing down the street, and I was like, let me listen to King Crimson. Yeah. And the first song I listened to was a Kanye sample, and I was like, oh shit. Yeah. And I never really, you know.
That's the essence of rap.
Yeah.
Like, and hit songs, like all Dre shit samples.
All of that shit. Yeah. Crazy.
You know what I mean? And he's like labeled as the greatest producer ever of all times. Right. So, you know, sampling is the essence.
The essence.
Straight up. All my sample joints is my biggest joints.
Those are the biggest ones.
Born and raised, baby. BX. How you throw the R up, though, big? I got the B and the X, homie.
I can't get it.
You know what I mean? I just don't know how to throw the R up. Probably like something like this. Huh?
Something like that.
The R. Look, this the R. It's the B, X, R.
All right, y'all. Thank you. Yeah.
Powerful Truth. Wait, this is PTA.
This is PTA. Tripping. No, but you know, it's also BXR at the same time.
PTA, homie.
PTA,
Powerful Truth Angels.
P. What's a P?
It's the PTA, homie.
PTA.
You know what I'm saying? PTA.